Well, hey, good afternoon from up here in Kingfield. It's Brian at Brian's Guitar Rehab, and I got another cool one to show today. This is a, I believe, 1969. I can barely make out the stamp inside. Harmony H1270. Some of you may be familiar with the H1260. It's the famous Stairway to Heaven guitar that Jimmy Page apparently wrote like the first 4 Led Zeppelin albums on. Well, this is the 12-string version, and it's a 12 fretter as well. So same body size, kind of a jumbo, not exactly a dread and not a triple O. It's Harmony's own shape, but same size as a 1260 Stairway guitar, but with a 12 fret neck joint, 12 strings. Actually, I'm lying. 11 right now. I broke that high G string, so I'm waiting for some new ones to come in. Trapeze tailpiece and a floating bridge. These originally came ladder braced. It's a solid spruce top, solid mahogany back and sides, all bound up, double bound front and back with some nice cream binding. Mahogany neck, one piece. There's no scarf joint in there. And a big wide neck. This thing was 2 inches wide at the neck. I'll explain why here in a minute. Part of my resto process, I love doing X bracing. And this one needed a neck reset. It needed a bunch of stuff done with the bridge and new bridge plate and all that. And so I started in. I pulled the back off and I looked at the bracing, and they were the great big thick ladder braces and a great big spruce brace across the middle. And I said, all right, time for some X bracing. So I X braced the inside. That's old news. 88 degree, 5/16 inch. I didn't scallop the main X braces. I did scallop and taper the tone bars. Has a very thin footprint sized maple bridge plate. I didn't go crazy on the tone bars and the bridge plate and all that because of the trapeze tail. I figured it's not going to have a lot of pull on the top. So then, onto the bridge. Originally, these things came with a straight, almost looked like a pyramid bridge, non-compensated, no angle for the saddle, and it has this weird double saddle thing. If you look closely, you'll see there's 2 pieces of bone in this bridge. One of them is a string spacer. The other one is a saddle. And the strings go through the string spacer portion, and then obviously the strings sit on top of the saddle like any other bridge. I decided to carve one in the shape of the 1260 style with sort of the wings, and I inlaid the bone into the raised section in the back here so that the strings go through it and they've got some bone lubrication instead of just the wood. The old ones, the slots seemed like they were broken. Almost all the ones I've seen online are all cracked and broken. Then I carved in the slot so it's angled and compensated, so we'll get better intonation that way. Moving along, let's move on to the neck. Well, this neck was 2 inches wide. How do you play that? It was tough. It was missing a piece of binding on one side. It was double bound originally. And I looked at that little rim and I said, wow, if I take the binding off the other side, maybe I can shave something off of this. And what I did was, I did that. I took the binding off both sides, and then I started sculpting a little bit, and I took the old Harmony baseball bat neck that we're all used to, and I made it into sort of a modified V. And this now has an 1 7/8" nut in it, and it plays a lot more playable. It really reminds me a lot of a Martin D1220. Except for, because of this bridge setup, it's definitely got a floating characteristic to it. Oh, back to the bridge. This is floating. It's sitting up on 4 feet. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it can move around. It's not glued down at all. So intonation is easy to set. Just when you change strings, you got to either change them a couple at a time or put some tape on that top so you remember where it is. At any rate, original tuners, admittedly, they're a little stiff, but they work very well and they hold the tune very nicely. Everything has been rubbed over nicely with True Oil to kind of clean it up. The top shows all its original vintage patina. Got a brand new 5-ply pick guard on there. The back and sides, I completely refinished. Honestly, this thing was coated with like 50 years of tar and nicotine. It made my hands smell when I was working on it. So with all the work I did on the back and a couple of cracks in the sides, which are absolutely invisible now, they're all reinforced on the inside, I decided, look how beautiful that wood is. Let's just give it a new life. So back and sides are all refinished. At any rate, great sounding guitar. tell you, with this wide neck, I'm not much of a fingerstyle player, but I can finger pick this 12. Unbelievable. Usually I fumble them all up with 12 strings. Anyway, 1969 Harmony H1270 12-string trapeze floating Cocobolo bridge, X-braced, solid spruce top, 0 cracks on the top. I didn't mention that before. No cracks. Beautiful, refinished, solid mahogany back and sides. Great big, beefy, modified V mahogany neck. Truly a rare American classic. Hey, thanks for watching. See ya.